Hey, today I just wanted to review a little bit about the franchise Jamba Juice that was actually recently rebranded as just Jamba. Today I'm going to be going through the 2020 franchise disclosure document and some of the key statistics that we found to see if Jamba might be a good franchise for you to open up in the United States. So a little bit about the Jamba brand. It's been around for many years, and it is now owned by Focus Brands. Current CEO is James Holthauser, and they have 777 franchise stores across the U.S., and as well as they have some corporate locations. A little bit about the franchise fee. It is 35,000 for a traditional or even a non-traditional store. Then if you go the food truck route, it's going to be $10,000. I also want to go a little bit through the franchise expenses. So I'm going to make this screen just a little bigger, make it a little easier for you to review. The total cost for a traditional or non-traditional store. So non-traditional could be in like an airport, a college campus, is going to range between $290,000 and $560,000. If you go the food truck option, which has not been operating all that long, it's $164,000 to $301,000. Again, this is by the 2020 FDD for Jamba. And then many people ask, is the franchising fee included in the startup and in this investment range? Yes, it is. The construction and build out is going to vary quite a lot. So $100,000 to roughly $200,000 for the construction and build out, permitting, the equipment, furniture, exterior signage, and there's all different miscellaneous expenses, including the grand opening marketing costs, opening inventory, and then travel and living expenses while you're at their corporate headquarters doing the actual training so you can successfully run a Jamba store. And then ongoing franchise costs and fees, 6% of net sales, which is pretty standard for food and beverage franchises. We have well over 100 food and beverage franchises on the Vetted Biz platform, where we always disclose per their FDD what the royalty is, what the marketing or advertising contribution is. Advertising at 3% is a little higher than normal. Usually it's 2% for a similar concept to Jamba. And the nice thing with Jamba is they're very transparent. And not only do they disclose average and median sales, but they also disclose the profit margins. So you can see here, average sales for their franchise traditional stores are $680,000. And then the median is $650,000. The gross profit margin is a healthy 78%. Labor is 33%, which is medium, maybe a little high. Rent at 12%. Ideally, you want to see it lower than 10% in the food and beverage space, as well as other expenses. Where to get a better understanding of these other expenses, you got to talk to a franchisee, a few franchisees, as well as talk directly to Jamba. And then net operating income, the average is at $93,000. The median, I prefer always looking at the median at $77,000. And you see at the high range, someone's making an income of $539,000. So they're basically doubling their investment every year, which is amazing. And I would definitely want to know how that person is selling $1.7 million worth of smoothies out of their Jamba. So again, the high end net operating income is above $500,000 for a Jamba franchise per their 2020 franchise disclosure document. And then on the low end, it's operating at a loss of $90,000. So when investigating a franchise, it's always important to talk to some of the high performers, low performers, and people in the middle to understand how they're running their business and why they might be hitting the numbers that they're hitting. So I wanted to go through a little bit about the corporate financials Again, this is part of the franchise disclosure document. These are in thousands. So the parent company of Jamba, Focus Brands, which is a very large franchisor group, has franchise revenue of $152 million. You heard me right, $152 million, and a very healthy net income of $115 million. So these guys are doing very well financially. And it'd be interesting to know exactly where that management fee is going and how it is being used to support the different franchisors in their portfolio. And I would love to see the financials specifically for the entity of Jamba, but they do not disclose it. To my knowledge, they're disclosing just the parent company, so the firm that owns Jamba, the franchisor. But it's good to know that the owners of Jamba are making good money and they're not in any financial distress. To the best of my knowledge and the information that I have here. And their net income is steadily rising. There is a lot of competition with other salad, juice bars, other concepts that offer healthy food. So it's really going to depend a lot on the location. And we have a brochure that particularly goes through healthy food concepts and going through the average numbers. So if you are interested in investing in a Jamba, before that, I would definitely download our brochure just to understand the larger industry and then connect with Jamba and speak to some of their franchisees to see it be a good fit for you and your family. Penny, last thought, really try to keep the investment on the low end. If you're investing $500,000 to open up a Jamba, that's probably not going to return your investment for 5 to 7 years, which is a very long time horizon. If you're using leverage and you're getting like an SBA loan, maybe you recoup your initial cash investment much faster. But if you're going to invest in a Jamba, I would try to invest as close to $250,000, $300,000, especially as the median and average is below $100,000 for net income. So you want to ensure that you can get your money back within a reasonable time frame. And if you're investing in a franchise and the time horizon to get your money back is more than 5 years, there's probably better investments. I know there's better investments in the franchise space, as well as might be better just to keep your money in the stock market across a basket of a lot of different businesses. So do consider that in terms of if you are looking to invest in a Jamba Juice franchise, to make sure that the initial investment is on the lower end, closer to $300K, as opposed to the high end range closer to $500K.